Over the months and years, we have spoken before with Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch. She's an immigration attorney out of Austin, Texas, at Lincoln-Goldfinch Law. And you just said, Kate, you started to talk about some of the areas of our lives where we are going to really feel a difference going forward without the immigrants that have always been a big part of our economy. Talk in more detail about where are those places, and how soon do you think we're going to feel the heat?
Well, it's already started in places where they've been doing raids, of course, on the West Coast, and agriculture and the meat packing plants and picking fruits and vegetables. Down in Texas and Dallas, we've got construction projects down 30% because of a lack of labor, but also in the medical field. I mean, here in Texas, 1 in 5 doctors is an immigrant, 1 in 4 nurses is an immigrant, 1 in 2 home health care aides is an immigrant. And this is at a time when we have an aging baby boomer population and an increasing need for things like home health care. So those are the first areas where we're going to start to see it, and we already have hospitality, construction, agriculture, and those are the sort of the typical quintessential immigrant sectors when we think of that. But one of the things I always like to remind people is, this argument that, like, who's going to do the dirty jobs, it's true, but also we can't forget that immigrants are most of our entrepreneurs, they're most of our engineers, our STEM workers, they're bringing innovations in tech. And when we have the Trump administration going after legal immigration, we're seeing student visas get revoked, people who are visiting from Europe get detained at the border. I mean, these outlandish, distressing stories that come out send a message to the rest of the globe that we don't want immigrants here. They're not safe here. And so that means really high-skilled, highly trained, smart, innovative immigrants also don't want to come here. So it's not just, the sort of labor sector. It's all swaths. And we're going to, it's started, it has begun, and it's only going to get worse. And I can tell you just anecdotally, as I'm talking to immigrants, the first few months of the administration, there was a fight to people. It was like, well, what can we do? How can we protect ourselves? What are the rights? What are our constitutional rights? So we don't have to open the door if ICE comes to the door. Now the questions are more along the lines of, how do I get my money to Mexico if I deport? How do I sell my house? How can I get out of here? I'm done with this. I don't want to live like this anymore. And these are people who are in legal status. They're in legal process. They have jobs. I mean, these are people, many of them who are, have years here. They're really, they've built roots in this country, and we need them here. And we have already had a sea change in the sentiment of the immigrants that I'm talking to, and they just aren't going to stand for this for very long. And we're going to suffer. America will suffer, and it's already begun.
How do we come back from this? Let's say we get a different outcome in the midterm election and Democrats are able to thwart Trump, slow him down. Is there anything other than taking back the White House that we can do to rein ICE in, to put guardrails up, to make them follow the law?
Well, we really do have the federal courts protecting us right now. Trump has lost over 90% of the preliminary injunctions that have gone to the federal court level. Congress has sort of just rolled over, as we've seen. So we basically have one branch of the government that's just absent. If the midterms go in a different direction and we have some teeth, or at least some strength in Congress, we can start to see things getting blocked, maybe even things getting passed, certainly inquiries happening, right? Just not so much support or rollover on the part of Congress. So I think the midterms are really, really critical, and that's why this redistricting fight that's going on is so important for our democracy and this American experiment. I mean, I'm in Texas. I'm in House District 50. My state rep, Talarico, is one of the ones who's in your city right now.
Yeah.
So it's like keeping Trump from stealing congressional seats before the midterms is a really central piece to all of this.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, what are people saying in Texas about these Texas Democrats that have scurried out of the state to safer pastures until what? Greg Abbott, there was some rumor today that maybe they would end the special sessions a couple of days earlier. I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I think they're just trying to figure out how to circumvent it. But when you talk to people, what are they saying about this?
I mean, the people that I talk to, so the people in my circle and a lot of people who follow my social media are with me, and we're sending a lot of support, donations, gratitude to our state reps who are standing up to this. I mean, they're facing personal attacks, not just fines, but, potentially jail time, and the threats that the governor is making against these House reps are over the top. So most people are just grateful for the bravery that these House reps are showing. I mean, of course, there's people on the other side who are repeating the rhetoric. But, I think for the most part, people who are paying attention understand that this would be a straight thievery, a mid-decade redistricting for no purpose. I mean, even when you hear the governor, Greg Abbott, sort of try to justify it in his interviews, he stumbles around a little bit. It's clear that it's hard for them to even justify what they're doing. It's because it's just obviously a power grab for the president, at the direction of the president.
And I don't think they're even trying to hide that. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump wants this and they're trying to comply. I remember Ann Richards. You're probably not old enough to remember Ann Richards, the Democratic governor of Texas. Texas didn't used to be the they would have never put up with a Ken Paxton type dear God in heaven, a man who probably himself should be in jail is the chief lawyer for the state of Texas.
It boggles the mind.
It does. But I do hear people say, I talk to Kendall Scudder, who's head of the Texas Democratic Party, and he really has faith. He sees blue ideas and blue voters. And he really feels that Democrats can make a comeback in Texas. Do you agree?
I do. I like Kendall. I'm excited about him. I think he's fresh. He's got some good energy, some good ideas. There's a lot of movement. I mean, stuff like this, where we have a quorum break and a bunch of Dems leave the state. It gets people paying attention to state politics, because right now everybody talks about federal politics, but, it's so important what goes on in our state. So I think there's a lot of really good attention and focus and energy happening right now in Texas. And I'm excited about the midterms. And I mean, in terms of these special sessions, I think Greg Abbott is going to keep calling special sessions until he gets the redistricting.
I think he is too.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin Newsom will, get 5 more blue seats. I mean, it's like if the Republicans are playing dirty, then the Democrats should too. I think that's the way it's got to go down. But we just have to see how it goes. That's
kind of what Gavin Newsom was saying today. We do generally do independent redistricting, but these are, this is an attack, and we have to meet an attack head on. And I think that's people understand that.
Yes, if they're going to play dirty, we're going to have to play dirty too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been talking to Kendall since he was the treasurer for the Texas Democrats, and he is exactly, I think, the kind of Democratic leader the party needs in every state, in every district. He is well-spoken. He's energetic. He's not afraid. I love him. I think he's the best.
Oh, I love that you know him and feel that way. I totally agree. It's really exciting that we have him at the helm of the party. So
how soon can we count on Texas going Democratic again? Did we have a timeline? Was there a timeline? I may have not been listening right then.
Maybe 1 year. Maybe next year. We'll see it happen.
Oh, my God. That would be awesome. That would be completely awesome. In the short term, in the next few months, what would make you happy if it happened? What could change that would make you feel better about what's going on with immigration?
You know, this summer to me has felt a lot like the summer of 2018. And that was the summer where the Trump administration started taking kids away from their parents at the southern border. And some of those videos and stories started coming out, and there was this national outrage because we can all see ourselves in families. We're all children of parents, or we have our own kids. And so people can really put themselves and imagine how they would feel if this were happening in their own family. And because of the outrage in 2018, by the end of that summer, the policies had shifted because Trump's approval ratings had dropped so low. I see a similar pattern playing out this summer. So far, they haven't shifted the policies, but I think what needs to happen is we all need to keep talking about it. We cannot become desensitized. Do not scroll past these stories as much as they hurt our hearts. Watch them, feel feelings, talk about them, get angry, stay angry, and maybe they'll start to get the message when they hear it loud and clear that we are not okay with this in this country, taking children away from their parents and going after good people for no reason.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kate. It is such a pleasure to talk with you again. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, immigration attorney out of Austin, Texas. Thank you, Kate.